What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is doing great. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Gonna kind of wait a little bit, start early, see if everyone can start joining around 10 a.m. Eastern time. Rubbing hands. What's up, guys? Let's go. Here goes a game plan for today. Have it up here real quick so you guys can kind of see it. Good morning. See, Bass, you're welcome. I'm glad it's definitely helping everyone's trading, helping your trading, right? Get to be more disciplined, see patterns, execute them, have risk. Does it sound good, guys? I'm not echoing, right? Just making sure. Cool. Thanks, Deb. Yes, I'll definitely go over discipline at the end of the stream. Let's go. What's up, guys? So today I'm gonna try to go in order of how the week went, right? Starting on the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Hey, Slack, good morning. Bobby, good morning. What's up, everyone? Yeah, no problem. In about 5 more minutes, we'll start. Deb is everywhere. That's funny. Deb already got that in Discord. Cool. Thanks, Deb. Good morning, good morning. For me, it's 12 a.m. It's cool though. I love this. What's up, bro? What's up? I'm in Japan, stationed in Japan, so it's almost 12 a.m. Every day. What's up? All right, guys, I'm gonna get the ball rolling. First off, I just want to thank everyone for showing up, taking their time out of their day on Sunday morning. Today, I'm gonna go over the whole week's, basically do a recap of the whole week. I'm gonna go over a bunch of tickers that we played, whether they're 1-minute flags or 5-minute flags, and really key on to why I bought them, where I bought them, what was the risk, what were points that we were looking for to aim for them to break out if they didn't break out, and etc. Here's kind of like the game plan of what we're going over. We're going to go over EVGO, AUTL, PETZ, KPTL, RNXT, EVGO again, IFMK, TLRY, BLNK, MRAM, VUZI, thanks to Herv, good scalps on that one, SNDL, PPSI, WISH, and FSR. And I also wanted to touch up on some of the questions people asked. Basically, my hotkey setup, how I have it attached to my mouse, and a few other questions we'll go into. If anything, Bofo, Deb, or a few other people will kind of get them and then send them over to me. So if I'm not paying attention to the chat too much, I'm sorry. I'm just going to go ahead and dive in and get in the zone over here. All right, let me move this. Okay. So starting from November 8th, which was Monday. Monday, we had AUTL. It had news. It was a leading gapper. And for us people who start trading at 7 a.m., this was one of the setups that I personally took right here out of the 7 a.m. gates for mainly because if it has news, it's a leading gapper. It's sometimes worth watching to try to trade because we kind of get this like shot of momentum, right? Every time we have the 7 a.m. bell open up for TOS, we get a shot of momentum, whether we get news or just pure momentum. The only reason why I traded this setup right here, and I did not get in early, I traded this setup right here for the $7 break. I got in right before $7 and just scalped it. It was a quick scalp. I didn't play anything else just because of the lack of volume. To me, playing these, if I would have slapped this, I could have been one of those candles. And then if it didn't work and I got flushed on, it would have been very tragic. But mainly I want to go over the main setup that we played into open, which was this 1 minute flag right here. This was beautiful right here. You get, once this thing kind of flushed, it was like, all right, I'm really not interested. I'm not interested. It's on watch. It's on my right monitor, which I have about 8 stocks on watch at all times. Once this actually really broke VWAP on increasing volume and started to flag, and you have that stair step down like I always talk about, this was amazing. It did tap the 8 in perspective right here, but when it was actually going, it was pretty much a little bit under it, guys. When we're trading in real time, things are not always going to tap the 8 perfectly. They're not always going to tap the 8 on the 5, but this is kind of what you want to see. This has a nice flag pull. This is the flag body. And what you're doing, again, guys, you're watching how much time is left up in the left corner or wherever you have your clock. And this is the setup. This is the setup for breaking 735s. This is the flag that you want to see on low volume, and it kind of breaks out and goes for highs. Now, this thing definitely had a lot more room to go if you kind of look at the overall pattern. But for playing momentum, this was the setup for me that I felt comfortable, confident in taking and going from there. Now let me go over EVGO. EVGO had news 11/8 pretty much in the afternoon and started to ramp up, guys. So once this started hitting scans and the momentum started coming in, this is what the 5 minute looks like, right? So when you see this, it's like, how can you trade this? You can either do 5 minute mid candle pullbacks, which I love doing because if you see it and it opens up when this is not a fresh 5 minute. This is probably a 5 minute that started later in the time. It opened, gave us a nice pullback, and then ripped. But this is the setup that I played right here. We got a nice flag pull. It pulls back to the 8, and then it rips for new highs, right? Again, nice VPA, nice push up, low volume pullback, pulls back, and then it rips, breaks orb, and then this is starting to trade into daily levels. Now, EVGO, again, had some day 2 continuation. I'm just going to look at my... Okay, on the 9th, we played this on the 9th too. Okay, this was perfect. I know a lot of you guys were in voice when this happened, pre-market. Okay, so this drop news, it had GM news, partnering with GM, and a lot of us, once this volume stick came back, we bought the first pullback, and we were looking for that 1537 break, and it broke. And this was amazing. Why? Because not only did this give us a 1 minute pullback, a fresh 1 minute pullback, it broke 1550, the half dollar, and the whole dollar. So when you're playing momentum fresh like this, it is risky. It has to have a good catalyst. You have to see buyers stepping up. It's one of those things that I wouldn't recommend for new traders to just slap right away. if you're not experienced with it, looking at level 2 and scaling in and out of. What happened though, which we all played, was once this started to pull back, I was looking for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. Let me just zoom in real quick. And once this kind of happened, we were looking to reclaim VWAP, and this thing just started to squeeze. And when I tell you, when this squeezed in like live time, it just started to rip, and everyone who's in voice saw it, caught it, and we were looking for new highs right here. So when I bought this type of setup, the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, I was looking for this level right here to crack, because I'm just looking left. Every time I'm playing levels, playing momentum, I'm looking left to see what levels are going to get cracked and kind of cause resistance or support. Once this cracked here, there was no stuff. Once this cracked here, there was no stuff. So it was just an overall great play. It fit the theme too, because now we had the EV sector running hot. So it's definitely something that was worth watching. Let me go to the day now. Yeah, it kind of bled the whole day. What happened on the 9th though? The 9th has started to pick back up. Where do we play this? Oh, I'm sorry. The 11th. Bear with me, guys. Okay. Here goes EVGO. Once this reclaimed VWAP on the 9th, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong chart. Okay, here's this 5-minute flag that we played with this. This called this one out. It was great. All right, here goes another 5-minute flag that we played where we had ramping volume. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. Yes, we had ramping volume. This just broke out of orb, which is the first high in the first 30 minutes from the bell. So 9:30 to 10. Once this broke up, you had nice ramping volume, and then you had this decreasing volume right here. And the best part of this 5-minute flag was it was right above orb. And what I was looking for personally was the break of 1731 right here. The first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Once you kind of see this setup, this is beautiful. Again, look, what do we see? We see the stair stepping down, low volume decreasing on it. And then what do we get right after the first 5-minute candle to make a new high? Which is at 1731. This is right here. Sorry, guys. We're looking for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, and that's exactly what we get right here on the 1 minute. So this is what kind of confirmation I'm looking for when I'm trading this 5-minute flag setup right here. And the only reason why I'm looking for that is because I don't want to see it get stuffed again right here, because you kind of got a tweezer top right here. But overall, same thing. We're looking for this to break 1771, and after that, we're looking for it to break the whole dollar. And in these situations, you gotta try to hold on and scale half and half, because you want to catch the bigger move, right? And the best thing that this did was, in this particular setup, was if you were holding your other half, right? If you played this and scalped it for pretty much 70 cents, like, that is such a great win still. Take some size. That's definitely a banger in my opinion. After this breaks out though, what is it doing? This becomes support. So we're kind of looking for that like big exchange after we're in these type of setups where it just gets stuffed. Then I would, maybe think about getting out. But since we don't have that big exchange and this is kind of getting support right here above that high, then you want to kind of hold on for more and look for a better trade after that. That was that trade that we did on 11/11 on EVGO. I'm going to go over PETZ. PETZ was another banger. It was on 11/9, so Tuesday. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing you guys. I'm looking at the chat real quick. Hannah, on that one, are you talking about that one I just went over, EVGO? Okay, wait. All right, here goes the setup on PETZ. Here goes your 5-minute flag right here, right? You got nice ramping volume right here. This I didn't play. I just wasn't interested in it. I got interested after I saw this type of VPA. So you got this kind of like overall pattern, nice flagpole, lower volume pullback. And in this specific flag again, I did the same thing that I did on EVGO. And why? Because it's not the normal flag that I'm used to playing where we get that igniting bar, lower volume pullback rip, where it's kind of, it looks, I'll show you an example of what I mean, why I played this one different than I played the other flags. And this one again, I was looking to play this for the break of the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. You can take an entry at the bottom of the 8, like I talk about, but it's kind of one of those that this didn't really have news. It was something that was running off another ticker. I believe, let me see this, 11. Yeah, this wasn't really. So this happened on the 9th, which is right here. This is like, okay, this is a day 2 continuation stock. This is why this was in theme. And this particular 5-minute flag setup, I played the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, and then I just held it breaking over here. And what you got is this particular setup is perfect because for me, when you're entering this, we're looking for the $half break, and then we're looking for the whole dollar break. Now, unfortunately, I did not get stuck in this halt because it did do that. Once it broke these levels and broke 750, I scaled all out. Why? I don't know. I'm trying to get better at holding stocks even longer to catch like the bigger move, right? But the best part about this is that we still nailed a 5-minute flag setup. We're playing half whole dollar breaks as it goes, riding the momentum. And on the 1-minute right here, what you see is another nice, beautiful 1-minute flag breakout. And where this was setting up was for basically the new high day right here. It's had good increasing volume. Lower volume pullbacks, it did kind of get stuffed already, right, at 9/11. But it was holding up. The flag was still intact. Someone asked me in my DMs, like, how do you manage your risk on these flags? This right here is a beautiful flag. If this would start to knife down right away, I'm stopping out because to me it does not look like a flag anymore. Same thing with a 5-minute. If I'm entering a 5-minute flag and it starts to break down, that's my stop. Sometimes I'll do 10, 15, 20 cents, but normally if the flag is no longer intact, I stop out. This particular 1-minute flag right here, it was setting up to break this level again. And when I'm trading this, I'm thinking like, all right, I still want to break the whole dollar when you enter these things if it's under it. And what do we get? We get a nice pop to 940s. I thought we were going to get 950s and then bailing out when it started to break down. So I didn't get the whole top of this because I wanted that 950 break. But other than that, that was another perfect example. Like if you're waiting, guys, you're not kind of playing the chop. To me, this is chop, chop. You know, I thought this was going to be the backside of the play now because there's a pretty big exchange right here after that move, 9/11. The only reason why I got interested again because it's had increasing volume. It was setting up in an area where it could potentially break out for a new high day, and that's exactly what PETZ did. So again, to me, there's a nice 5-minute flag setup right here, setting up for a whole dollar break, potentially the orb, which was basically almost $7, and then going from there, you're looking for half whole dollar breaks. All right, that was Nate. There was another one on that we played on the 9th. KPLT. Okay, here's KPLT. Now, the reason why I didn't catch pretty much any of this stuff was because it faded. I wasn't really watching this stock. Let me see. This was earnings. It had earnings. Now, I didn't catch any of this until it actually hit scans. So once this hit scans right here, this is that flag that I'm talking about. This is that 3-bar almost flag, if you want to say. You get this nice igniting volume. It breaks out of pretty much high day, which was 534. It pops up and then it pulls back, and look at what it does. It starts to pull back on lighter volume. Let me match the one for you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are wanting to see the one. Okay, there we go. Right here. All right, cool. I like the little crosshair thing too. It's crazy. I didn't know that this whole time, and I always wanted to like try to match it. So this is great. All right, this is the pattern this is my go-to pattern. Once you kind of see this thing, it's ripping, it's pulling back from the 8 EMA. You have a nice ramp up in volume. And the reason why you see this ramp of volume, because this is gearing up to break 530s, which is the first high I put in. And once this happens, this is pulling back, guys, to the 8 EMA, and this is the flag. I like to see a 50, even 60, 70% pullback in most cases, just because it just made a big move. And like if you look at this, even on the 5-minute, this thing never really pulled back, so it's kind of exhausted, So waiting for this to actually pull back and set up is probably going to be the best thing that you can do, and it's easy risk, right? Everything I'm trading, for the most part, right, for momentum wise, I'm looking for an entry that has easy risk off. So if this level didn't hold on the 5, I would have just stopped out immediately and waited to re-enter on strength. And this is exactly another perfect setup that happened. It broke out. We get in right here. We take profits. Right, this is a tweezer top. So this is where I take profits right here personally. Right, and the best thing about this one though is it held orb. Right, if you ever want to take a stab trading something that breaks out and then pulls back, 9 times out of 10, it's a pretty good chance that it could bounce off orb if it has strength, if it has a catalyst, and if there's more eyes on it, right? Here goes another flag. Okay, another flag. Did you see this one right here? Here goes another 5-minute flag right here. And the best thing about this one is, yes, it did have some pretty heavy exchange, but if you look at the overall volume that pushed it up, you have about 1.3, 1.5, and a half a mil. So this pulling back on a million compared to the push up is still relatively low. And the best thing about this one right here, guys, is right when this formed, you pretty much got a tweezer bottom. So if you're watching this right here, this still tapped to 8. Buyers stepped up, and the reason why buyers step up, in my opinion, on these setups is because they're not chasing this stuff right here. If you see it on the one up here, they're not really chasing this. Like, where's your entry? What is your price target? In this case, we're getting a nice 5-minute pullback, and then buyers step up. They're buying the dip, and right here, you could have just traded this right here from 560's first target as the top of the flagpole for me when I play these 5-minute setups. Now, I don't just dump everything. I dump half my shares, and then I'm looking for new highs. And this one is great because look where it's setting up. Again, it's setting up for that $6 break, which is right here. So once you're in this flag, it holds the $0.50. It never pulled back to 550s, but this is something I kind of want to get you guys into more because I talked to Bofo the other day, like I'm always talking about $0.50 whole dollar, $0.50 whole dollar. And when you see these flags set up for $0.50 and gearing for a whole dollar break, or they're forming on a whole dollar hold, you know, they're forming where that has that whole dollar support, and now we're looking for that 550 break or that $0.50 break. And once that happens, if the momentum is strong, now we're gearing up for that whole dollar break. And this is what it does, you know, and then eventually it gets stuffed right here. And again, guys, every time I play something, the first thing that I do, and I'm just mentioning this again, is I mark levels out on my daily. You know, as soon as it starts to pop, I'm like, okay, this is a level to break, this is a level to break, this is a level to break. You know, and then so on and so forth. I just keep tagging these lines. And I do it really quick, and then I go from there. And these are the levels that I'm trying to see on the daily to see if they crack, if they're getting stuffed, you know, and so forth. Take this off now. And, you know, guys, if to me, like, I didn't really see this. I wish I would have, because it's still setting up. You know, you do have a 5-minute flag right here, gearing up to break view up. It makes sense to play, right? But this was the actual plays that we played on this. It was this flag and then this flag right here. Yeah, so sometimes, guys, the reason why Bofo asked me the other day, and it was nice, right? The reason why I don't look too much into the hourly 4-hour for resistance and support is because when, to me, and I've seen this a lot, when things have fresh news for that specific day, I'm looking at daily levels. When things run into day 2, day 3 continuation, that's when you want to pull up your hourly chart right here. And I just do it really quick. You pull up the hourly, you start to look for levels, right? You know, if you did it right here, there's really pretty much nothing. You know, pull up the 4-hour to a larger time frame. You know, and then you can start marking out your levels like the same way I did. I usually look for top wicks, or I look for a bunch of top wicks that kind of match up and go from there. Let's go RNXT. This was like the banger for the week for me on the 10th. And if I know a lot of you guys saw this in voice, I pretty much bottom ticked this flag right here. This thing. Hold on. This thing actually had news that day, but I couldn't catch it, right? It dropped news really early. Everybody who was on it, on, you know, Webull or brokers that open up before 7 caught it. This thing was fading back, you know, it pulled back a lot. And, you know, now I'm interested, right? It comes out of the gate, it just has strong momentum. I didn't catch any of this stuff right here. This first 5-minute candle, I did not catch. This other candle, I did not play. I'm looking for that 5-minute flag setup. And since this name was Whippy, right, I actually put orders on the bid. And now when I did something like that, you know, just say, for example, this is, let me see, because I actually bottom ticked it. I had 998 average on that. And what I did was, let me go up to 998. Let me see if we'll do it. Just because I want to show you guys. Since this was so extended and this was a name that was so whippy, I didn't just want to slap the ask or, you know, market buy this or anything like that. I wanted to get a good entry. And if you look right here on the 1 minute, sorry, I don't know why my chart did that. You see how these, like, the pullback started to become a little bit drastic. So I didn't want to just take an entry off the 1 minute 8. I wanted to wait for a 5-minute proper pullback. And what I did was I put orders kind of like this. Let me see if it will pop up. Okay, it's not going to, right? But I basically put orders. I looked at the 8, and this was perfect because the 8 and VBOP were starting to match. And what I did was I placed orders a little above it, 990. I put orders on like 997, 998, a little bit below it, 980s. Never pulled back there. Ended up pretty much getting a perfect average of 998. Got filled instantly. And when I got filled instantly off this, as soon as it tapped, it just shot up right away. And I was like, all right, I'm going to hold this. I'm looking for this top of the flag pull to break. And in this situation, it's perfect. Our entries are $9.98, $10. I know a lot of people got $10 entries. They were looking for this 5-minute setup. And what this is a perfect example of when this you get in on a nice 5-minute pullback. We're looking for this flag to break out, and look on the 1 minute right here. This is beautiful, right? It breaks out with increasing volume. And what we're doing is now we're playing this another perfect setup for the break of $11, right? We're in below it. It is just increasing volume. We're looking for that $11 break, which is pretty much right here. You know, this is your $11 break. It just smashes right through it. The first pullback gets bought up. The second pullback gets bought up, and so on. You know, that was just a great trade. I did hold this one for the bang. You know, pretty much got like $2, and I think I got $2.23 per share on 3,000 shares. So that was it was a nice trade. Overall, that was definitely a banger. That was a 5-figure day just because of this one alone. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'll go over questions in a little bit. EVGO, KPLT. 10. I think, you know, in all honesty, too, on the 10th, I think that was Wednesday. That was like, let me see. Yeah, that was like pretty much the banger. Once I locked that in, I didn't really trade, right? Because if you look up here, this is that big exchange that we're kind of talking about. Here goes again stuff. There goes that big fail. Once this happened, guys, I don't play any of this stuff, you know. This is all chop. This is definitely all chop in my opinion. You know, I don't play any of this. There's no setup that I like over here. That's a big exchange, a big stuff. And then you get this sideways action, and then now it's just all short territory, right? And you just kind of see it bleed out for the rest of the day. But more importantly, we have a nice 5-minute setup. It was whippy. I put my orders on the bid for this one. Actually, there was another one that we played. IFMK. Okay, and actually, there's a lot of people on this one. Zen was playing this, Herb was playing this. I'm pretty sure Thiz was probably playing this too. There's a lot of us trading this invoice, right? Here goes. Let me get the one. Here goes another 5-minute flag right here, pulling up. It breaks VWAP. In perspective, this did, you know, tap the 8 right now. But in this particular setup, we're looking for increasing volume right here. The first 5-minute candle to make a new high. The reason why I play these guys like that is because if you see the different flag from IFMK compared to, you know, the one on RNXT, and I'll go over a few more. To me, this is too much chop, right? This flag, it's still flagging. The VPA is there. You got decreasing volume on the 5, which is perfect. That's my go-to. If I see decreasing volume on the 5, I'm taking a stab. The entries are going to be different, whether I put them on the bid or I'm trying to play the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Because what you got right here on the 1 is you got a bear flag setting up. You got a nice stuff. This is pretty big volume, right? Compared to the overall volume on the name trading. And once this finally breaks, it starts to rip. So you have this nice 5-minute flag. I played the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, and then, you know, scaling accordingly. Guys, I traded this multiple times with size. I traded this again over here, gearing up for the 150 break, and it didn't happen, which is fine. But overall, you have a nice flag right here. This did flag again right here. And what are we doing? We're playing the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. It's just when this is too much chop for me to worry about. So I'd rather wait, and you can get chopped, right? You know, if you're playing this, because this is setting up, right? You have that lower volume decrease. You could get chopped trying to play this first 5-minute candle to make a new high, and you do. And when you do this, you gotta be able to stop out immediately. You know, these type of setups, if you're new, I know somebody asked me too about PDT, when to wait. In this particular one, I would try to get entries on the 8 or VWAP or at some type of support level on these flags that kind of make sense, and try to squeeze out as much as you can until it starts to get stuffed. To me, once the stock didn't want to break 150, I feel like the backside was coming, and then you know you pretty much got the backside of it for the rest of the day. See any other ones that were on the 10th? No. Okay, the 11th. Guys, the Thursday was amazing. All right. Let's start with Wish. Wish, you know, had earnings. Diz called this one out too. I love it. I love that everyone's looking up for flags. It had earnings, right? So this makes sense to play. You know, we missed this, which is fine. And actually, this is a 5-minute setup that I'll show you on SNDL, because I keep seeing these, right? And when I say this, I like, guys, I'm backtesting everything. I'm backtesting everything. I'm looking at my charts. I'm looking at the runners that ran, why it ran. Did it have news? Is it a leading gap, or is it day 2 continuation? And this is a pattern that, you know, I'm starting to see more and more as we go on. But here goes that nice 5-minute flag, right? If you're playing this, match. I'm sorry, guys, I gotta keep matching the 1 minute. Here we go. This is one that I slapped to. I think I slapped 6,000 shares right away. I missed this first pullback, but as soon as this setup was happening, I just slapped it right away. And if you look at Wish and kind of how this thing traded, it was a slow grinder. So in my opinion, if you can spot out a slow grinder, which we had one on FSR, I'll go on that one too. Once you get a solid entry, you kind of want to see it play out. If it's not really getting stuffed like crazy, or if it does get stuffed right here on the 1, you know, and it just recovers and that acts like nothing happened, because this did get stuffed at 1.1 mil. You kind of want to hold on for the bigger picture, right? On this one, we had Daly's level mapped out again right away. As soon as this started to get news, we're looking for 550 to break, looking for 560s, 607-ish area, and this is perfect, right? This breaks the 550 daily level, pulls back, decreasing volume, and as soon as a new 5-minute candle opens, coming to the 8 EMA area, it starts to just take off. Now, again, this was a slow grinder. That day I was probably in like 3 different trades. I know a bunch of us run in multiple trades at once. This had news. Everyone knows Wish. Wish is like a cold stock. If this thing gets news, there's a lot of people playing it. Played it before. So again, low volume pullback. We're looking for this break right here, 573. And if you see this right here, it doesn't get stuffed. It just continues, right? And if you got in all the way over here, still, I would look to take half. Like, especially if you're new, you know, you're looking to lock in trades. If you're under the PDT rule and you're seeing these flags, try to get in as close as you can as a low volume pullback to the 8. Once that happens, since these flags right here are giving us more range, you know, you don't want to sell once this pops. You kind of want to watch the 1 minute and see how it, you know, plays out, right? There's really no stuffage yet. You know, this is a slow grinder. This is kind of almost a flag, sideways flag right here. You know, you want to keep that in mind too once you pull your entry, what kind of other setups that are making you want to stay in the play or even average up. Once this broke out, we're looking for that $6 break. We never got it, so this was definitely a solid trade. Again, VPA is there, guys. We're looking for, you know, the high day break for it, and then after that, we're looking for whole $half breaks. Let's go FSR. FSR was in play. Again, Diz nailed this. He called this one out, guys, and it was in play, in theme, right? EV sector. Important to know what's going on, why you're playing it. But this is my favorite flag setup out of all of them. Every time I see these, I hit these hard, right? You got a nice increasing volume again, lower volume pullback. Look at the move up. Pretty, you know, it's a $20 stock, but overall the VPA was there. And now this one again, this was one of those ones that you kind of just let it grind until you see huge stuffage. And I'll be honest with you guys, I took profits right here, right? Because it was starting to get stuffed, and I remember I was looking, and I was like, oh shit, it's pulling back down to 260s, 240s. You know, I got in under 20 bucks, so to me, it's still you know, still a solid trade for me. It was only a starter, 1,000 shares, but look what this stock did, right? It just grinded all day. So this is something that I want to get better on, and that if you're trading this and you get in so early, let it kind of unravel. You know, this is a situation too where you want to scale 50% and hold the rest of the 50% to see what it's going to do. And you know, not for nothing, it's made another flag. A nice increasing volume. You got stair stepping down. It kind of almost repeated itself if you see this right here, right? It started to take a little bit, and then once it was moving, you're looking for half whole dollar breaks, increasing volume and stuff like that. That was a trade on FSR. Same concept. These are my favorite flags to play. What else won? Already went over the EVGO. So we had a flag on Thursday. We had EVGO, Wish, FSR. I'm trying to remember other ones, but I think that's pretty much it for that day. And guys, like, those are all three bangers right there, right? Okay, let's go over Friday now. MRAM. MRAM was a little bit hard to gauge into. That's okay. Right, I didn't catch any of this. To me, it was too hard. Honestly, I was looking for this level to break right here, but this is the flag right here. Nice increasing volume, nice pullback, and in this particular one, let me pull up the one because this is gonna help you. Because I know someone's like, hey, where's your price target? Where are you getting out of? Right. Beautiful 5-minute flag setup right here. Increasing volume. It breaks high at day, so it starts. People are taking profits, right? I mean, why wouldn't you? Especially if you got in anywhere over here, and kind of held it, right? But to me, I'm waiting patiently and waiting for these patterns to form because I've consistently seen them all the time, right? There's another stock too. Pretty sure what it is. Another head news. Let me make sure. Okay, a price target. Crazy, right? Price targets are getting slapped left and right. But all in all, this is the nice 5-minute setup right here. Increasing volume, stair stepping down. This one did tap the 8. It was beautiful. And what we're looking for is for new highs. But if you look at the 1 minute right here, as soon as this flag, and if you missed it, it's kind of made a 1 minute flag right here. Make sure I'm on the right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. It was right here. This is kind of a sideways flag. I really don't like playing these too much, but my point is once you entered right here, we're looking for that 1040 break and then even the $half break. And once this didn't, you kind of see this new 1 minute candle, it opens and starts to get stuffed. So even if you didn't take all your profits up right here and it starts to pull back and you're taking, you know, 1016s, your entry is about 980s, 986, 990s. If you missed it and you were late, whatever the case may be, it's still a solid trade. It's still a trade that you can manage your risk. You can manage when to take profits, and it makes sense. Like, this makes sense to me. I don't know how to play all this other stuff. It doesn't make sense. You know, so this is the patterns. These are the go-to patterns for me personally. When things get extended for the 8, I look for a pullback for a tap off the 8 on the 5-minute. Here goes, okay, and I want to go over fails, right? Because I like going over fails. Here goes one right here that was setting up, and this is the back side of the play, but it was kind of rough because it reclaimed VWAP, and I got stuffed on this one. I couldn't even get out. Let's go look at the 1 minute. 13, 13, right here. Yeah, I got caught in that, but it's cool. I was looking for a 5-minute flag right here, increasing volume, decreasing volume, and of course this one pretty much opened up. It popped up. You know, as soon as this opened, it's still kind of making that flag form. It popped up. I was looking for the $10 break and for it to actually make new highs. And instead, if you look on the 1 minute, I just, got stuffed. And anybody who took that probably got stuffed too. But, the concept was there. I didn't play this with size. And here goes my biggest point I want to make. As soon as we see something like this with big volume, strong momentum, it's setting up to break new highs or attempting to right here. If anybody missed this, we're looking for new highs, new breakout levels. You don't size into these plays because to me now this is a big exchange. It tried to break out of orb again, failed, pulls back, gets stuffed. These are one of the ones that if you're taking them, you want to take them with smaller size. So if it does not work, you're not giving back big gains. It's the concept of this is that it was setting up a 5-minute flag, so I took the trade. Do they all work out? In the beginning, guys, on the front side, I'm telling you, 95, 98% they work out. On the back side, or if they're getting too extended, like this is the 3rd, 4th, 5th flag breakout, that's when like the probability is starting to decrease. Why? Because it's extended. The thing already made a move. Shorts want to get in and start making their money now. That was MRAM. Okay, here goes. I want to talk about my fills, right? BLNK. This one hit me hard. I was green on the name, and then, I got crushed for, like, let's see. I wasn't really too green on the name, but I finished like minus 835 bucks on it. I took this 5-minute setup right here. Missed all this stuff. I took this 5-minute setup, and at the time, it had decreasing volume, right? Because I'm looking for this setup. It started to pull back. I bought the 8, started to enter around the 8, and then I just got stuffed, right? And when you see this, this was it right here. When I got stuffed on here, right here, this kind of just, so this is sideways. I should have been a little bit more aware of that, right? This is kind of like a huge bear flag. I still took it. This is my 5-minute setup. I try not to pay attention to the 1 minute too much because you can get faked out. So I took this base off the 5. Again, I didn't size in too much, but I did take a hit on this one. Here's the fails right here. This started to pull back. It tapped. It had decreasing volume, so that's why I was like interested. I had high conviction on it, and it failed. That's okay, right? They're not always going to work out. But again, I was actually talking to Bofo about this. Like, I should have realized something before I took this trade. This is basically making lower highs, right? It pops up, it gets stuffed. It pops up, it gets stuffed. It pops up, it gets stuffed. Right here. I should have noticed that, like, this was like slowly decreasing. It was starting to downtrend. I had some conviction because of the nice volume. Like, this had increasing volume. Why is it going to stop? I was looking for new highs on this, but it didn't work out. It's just something to realize next time, like Because sometimes, and you know, we all make mistakes, right? Sometimes I'm so focused, like right here, and you got to remember to zoom out a little bit. You know, it's okay to be focused on this, but don't forget to zoom out because, you know, we all make mistakes, right? Zoom out of your chart so you can kind of be aware of like what's going wrong and then start drawing your trend lines, right? You know, see what the bigger picture is going on, you know. This could have been an attempt to even touch upper trend line, you know, and then if I was in this flag or right here, you know, I should have seen that this is upper trend line. It failed. You know, it's just something that would have made me maybe not take it and maybe be more cautious about, you know. Okay, those are the fails. Guys, those are the two flag fails that I had for the whole week. And if you think about it, like we nailed a lot of them this week. And that's a great success rate for me personally. SNDL, I'm gonna go over SNDL because this is a pre-market one that a lot of us played. It was the only thing, it was on the gappers list. It was the only thing that was gapping up. It made such a big move after hours, so we're kind of anticipating the whole dollar break. Or I mean, yeah, the whole dollar break for $1. Oh, my kid. Okay, here we go. We got, this is, you know, I pretty much missed like, um, no, we did not. Excuse me. This is the first 1 minute flag on SNDL this morning, or on 7 a.m. on Friday. This popped up. This was in theme, and we're looking for, you know, as soon as you look left, guys, again, this made a nice move. We're looking for day two continuation. This was a day two continuation stock, and everyone thought we were going to get the whole dollar break finally, but it didn't happen. But here goes a nice 1 minute flag, nice increasing volume, you know, and then you got the stair stepping down. Once that happened, we're kind of riding this out until you kind of see that, you know, it pull back and get stuff. Now, I took profits on this because I was playing with size. Here goes a beautiful 5 minute setup right here. And this did break here, but I think this was like an anomaly, I think. Everyone who was in voice was like, what the heck? This kind of like threw the whole chart off. Trying to see. Okay. Here is the one that I played and I sized into a lot. And I've been seeing this right here where you get this 5 minute kind of setting up, it pulls back, and the new 5 minute candle opens and it holds that level. This was one that I'm starting to backtest because if you saw before early in the stream, I've kind of got these 5 minute candles that pop up, they pull back, they open and go. And if you see right here, this is when I started slamming it. Is once I started volume increase, the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, I started adding size into this. And as soon as this didn't break out, guys, I was scaling into the bids. Just, you know, it was like very easy. You know, pre-market, I buy the ask and I scale into the bids as they go up. You know, I do it with my hotkeys. It's very simple. I don't really get too much on the ask pre-market. I rarely ever do, unless it's gearing up for a whole dollar and I put some on the whole dollar break. But usually I'm trying to size into it more to make more money out of it. Okay, that was SNDL. Didn't really play this anymore for the rest of the day. Here goes TLRY. TLRY was on Friday. This thing was running pretty hot, right? Had some good moves. I didn't play any of this stuff though. However, I did play this 1 minute flag setup right here. Here goes another. I love these flag setups that's set up like this, where it has this nice flagpole. It pulls back, gets bought up. You know, it taps the 8 on the 1, and then I'm looking for new highs, looking for that $13 break. Now, on this one, I didn't get the whole $13 break because as soon as it ripped, it just flushed right away. But overall, pattern-wise, guys, if you're looking for patterns to play, this is a nice 1 minute flag. Look at a decreasing volume on it. right? Stair step down, you're looking for that pop. Unfortunately, it did pop, but then it got stuffed, right? And it didn't really play this thing at all for the rest of the day. And this did end up making more moves, but, you know, just kind of go over like the trades I took, how I traded them, why I traded them, the flags. Here goes one. I don't want to forget about KPLT. KPLT was another one. This one was on the 9th. I just forgot about it. It had earnings, right? So this one made sense. The only thing that I didn't do was I didn't play any of this, you know. But as soon as it hit scanners, and then I looked, I was like, hey, what happened? This have news, and it did. It had earnings, so it's in play for me. If it has some type of catalyst, this is a former runner too. This thing ran in the past, so it just needs some volume. 12:30. Okay, right here. Again, guys, beautiful 5-minute flag setting up. When you're playing stuff like this, you just see it kind of like increase. This is your flagpole. Look at the VPA right here. As soon as this popped up, if you see this stuffage, this is a low volume pullback. This to me is not saying, hey, the move is over. This is just people taking profits. It is what it is. People are going to take profits if they're playing anywhere over here. Added this for a VWAP reclaim and looking for this level to break out. Whatever someone else is trading, that makes sense to them. But for me, nice 5-minute flag, 5-minute entry was on the 8 or close as possible to the 8. And then you're looking for me, you're looking for this break. And when you're looking for this break again, guys, as soon as this breaks, you're looking for a reason to get out, and you're trying to squeeze as much as possible. There was PPSI too. Okay, almost forgot about PPSI. And this one was also on the 8th, so sorry about that. I tried to go in order, but I got a big list. Or was it? Here goes PPSI flag right here. And now, this was one that names, everyone's socials around this. So it was a little sketchy to play, but all in all, this is setting up a huge 1-minute flag, but this is where I got interested. And again, I was a little skeptical about playing this one, but this is what got me interested right here. Once this big volume stick kind of got out, this was setting up right here, and the volume started to decrease where it was setting up. So again, I played this to break the whole dollar. I did not add over here because this is not my super confident flag to play, but this is a 5-minute flag forming, and what I was doing right here is looking for that whole dollar break. Oh, this is not the right day. Hold on. Aaron's like, Mikey, what'd you do? You're messing up. Okay. All right, here we go. In this situation, you kind of see this stuff, so it's like, oh, do you want to still play this? But to me, when this pulls back, it's tapping the 8. It's still intact. It's still the front side of this momentum, and we're looking for more, right? In this specific play right here, I got in before $7, looking for that $7 break. And what you're doing is you have to be glued to this. You have to be looking at the tape, looking at level 2, and you're anticipating for this first 5-minute candle to make a new high. And the best part about this one was it was gearing up for that whole dollar break again. So it kind of adds strength behind it, because if it's going to break out, when you break through a whole dollar again, it doesn't matter on what side you're on, the front side, the back side. If it's going to crack it, it's going to crack it. If it's going to break it and go for the bulls long, it's going to go, So again, I waited patiently for this. I didn't add on the bottom. I only did that because I didn't want this to happen on the 1 and go like, hey, I'm about to add this break and then it fail. So I added on strength the whole dollar break, which was right here, and then it ripped past through 710s. And the best thing that this did, I already had this mapped out, is that once this broke down where it got stuffed, it bounced right off it, and then we're looking for new highs. We're looking for this right here. the 726 break, and it just smashed right through it, you know. And after that, guys, like, you know, if you're getting over here, this broke, you know, another good thing about this one was that it broke 750s, right? You know, there goes that momentum thing that I'm always talking about. Where this is forming, why it's forming, you know, is the VPA, right? Is it matching? You know, after that, you're looking for the whole dollar break. Once it breaks that and it breaks through like the high, this is the flagpole, the top of it, and it doesn't get stuffed on the one, this is money to me because there's more to the move now. You know, people are looking for it to squeeze, and it does. We're looking for that whole dollar break. It does break it, and then eventually it makes new highs. And after that, you know, you got, you know, this is pretty big exchange up here. You know, you got 2 mil exchange. You know, that's that exchange that you're kind of looking for of when to get out, and then eventually, you know, just here goes a flag that I just did not take because there's too many socials behind this one. You know, it's one of those that just kind of want to stay away from. But if the setup is there and it makes sense, it's worth taking a stab. If it has your strategy, your setup, it's definitely worth it. All right. Yeah, so I went over all the flags for this week. Had 2 fails. We had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had 9 successful flag breakouts out of the 11 this week. Guys, that is money, you know. That's money to me, you know. It's such a high success rate right there. And then even the 1 minutes, didn't play too many, but we had about 3 or 4 1-minute flags that broke out and kind of gave us some profits, right? Oh shit, Buff, I didn't even realize you were messaging me. All right, I'm gonna go over questions now, guys. Failed on that one, right? All right, so I got questions, guys. How do I decide when to trade off the 1 versus the 5? Okay. That's actually a great question, right? Let me erase this now. Anytime I'm trading, guys, if I see a fresh 1-minute flag and it's the first part of the move, that's when I'm going long, right? So, I mean, SNDL was a day 2 continuation play, right? This is your morning. Right here. Here goes your 1-minute flag. This is when I want to play this 1-minute flag. This is 7 a.m. You know, it's day 2 continuation. It's fresh, in my opinion, still. This is when I would play a 1-minute flag. 5-minute flag is, I play 5-minute flags when I kind of missed a move or it's out of the gates and it's super volatile and I'm not slapping it, right? Like RNXT. We didn't just slap this. Here you go. Pull up on the 5. I didn't just slap this out of the gates. You know, because I'm just not interested in this, you know. This could break VWAP and you could take a stab, but it's like it's super volatile, and to me, guys, if you're just slapping stuff because of this and that, I don't think like you're gonna have super high conviction and sizing in and being consistent. So in this case, I wait for a 5-minute, I wait for a proper setup because it's just first 5 minutes you just get this boner candle, you know. And now I'm waiting for a 5-minute setup. Okay, what time of day are my best? Okay, pre-market, guys. If things have news and things are ramping up, I'm definitely, to me, that's the front side. If you're there early and you're on the front side of the move, pre-market will be amazing for stuff that drops news. Now, sometimes you don't get that, but I think the best time of my trading is going to be pre-market if we have news, fresh news, and probably about the first hour to an hour and a half, because that's where you get the most volatility. You know, it's kind of like warrior trader. Volatility creates opportunity, and to me, this is the best way I found to capitalize on it. Okay, how often do you think those lower volume pullback flag setups align with daily support resistant plays? So, or aligns to VWAP. Okay, that's when I go over and when I keep telling you like it has to make sense. So, how often do I see that? You know, that's a great question. I don't know until I actually see it. Like once a flag forms, I'm looking for exactly what you just asked me in that question. Like, is this is this flag forming on daily resistance support or aligning with VWAP, you know, stuff like that. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for things that are getting checked off in the box, right? Oh yeah, NUZ. I did play NUZ, but NUZ on Friday. This was for this setup right here. Okay. Was a nice 5-minute breakout right here. The first pullback was around the 8, and it was actually a little bit above it. The only reason why I played this one because it was again right around the whole dollar support. This is the only reason why we played this flag. This was there was socials on this one too, so there was kind of this channel momentum coming in here. And you know, the only thing that made me want to play this was because of this setup right here. It held the whole dollar, and then again, same thing, guys. We're looking for this to break out. And if you look at the one, you're trying to hold on for the bigger move, right? You don't always have to take profits at the top of the flagpole or stuff like that. Those news questions going over watching the clock. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to think of a good example. So when I'm watching the clock, I'm looking for let me see if KPLT was a good one. Okay, here goes a perfect one, actually. KPLT 5-minute flag. Okay, here goes a perfect 5-minute flag. As soon as you get there, we're getting our entries on a low volume pullback. As if it's tapping the 8. A lot of these things respect the 8. But what we're looking for right here is we're watching the clock up here on the left. And if you see this, buyers were stepping up in the last few seconds. This candle closed and then continued right here with momentum. So that's what I'm looking for when I'm in the trade. I'm looking for as soon as a 5-minute candle opens, buyers step up and we kind of get this, I call this the U shape. You know, we have this flag, it pulls back, in the last few seconds, sometimes it's 15 or 20 seconds, you have buyers step up, so it pulls back. You know, this is the U. The last few seconds of the 5-minute candle is about to close. Buyers are stepping up. It closes and it just continues. So that's what I mean when I say like the U shape. You kind of get this, you know, and it's important. I think timing is everything with these flags too, because sometimes you don't catch it, right? And if you don't catch it, you're looking for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, and wherever that's setting up, you're looking at the clock. You're like, did this candle just open? You know, if this candle just opened and buyer step up, sometimes it's great to slap it and anticipate the flag breakout if you didn't catch it down low. Oh, CYTO. I didn't really play CYTO. It was just, yeah. I mean, guys, look at this. This one was before. That was for Friday, right? Friday, yeah. Make sure that's Friday's move. Yeah. You know, If any, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think I did because, yeah, I would have wrote it down. I mean, you do have a 1 minute flag right here. But guys, there's too much, I don't know, too much socials. Does this have news on Friday? It did have news. I don't know. I didn't play this. This really wasn't set up. I mean, there's a 5 minute flag right here. It failed. And to me, okay, I did not catch any of this. This was when I saw way too much socials on it, right? This is a pretty much a, a blow off, almost a blow off the top. Doesn't have that what Dids would look for, but there's too many socials. Look at this. This is so choppy. Like, I would not want to play this. I don't see my setup. I'm not comfortable playing it, so I'm not going to expose myself to what could potentially go, whether it worked or not. This is the backside to me now of the play after it gets stuffed up here. PPSI. Okay. PPSI. Was on the 8th. Someone asked me if I would play a flag. Or which day was that? I forgot. Right here. Would I try to play a flag right after this? Okay, that's actually a great question. Once you see like a kind of a stuffage right here, I don't like playing these flags that are, if this is forming a flag, right? I don't feel comfortable playing these flags because if you look at it, where's your price target, right? This name for this particular day was just maybe trying to continue. If you look at the daily, it could have been a bounce play. It didn't have news that specific day. So to me, it was like, too many socials were on it. Like, hey, PPSI, PPSI. Didn't really want to, once this, wait, I don't know if it was this. Yeah. Yeah, guys, if you see 1 minute flags, guys, that are super extended, I don't try to play those. To me, there's too much risk because if you compare it to the 8 when you're trading, there's so much backside or potential drawback that can happen to it. And then you don't want to get caught like, okay, now you just bought something that was setting up, it was flagging, but it was extended. Now you just put yourself at big risk, and then you're going to get caught into, all right, maybe this will bounce, or I hope this works. No, I don't really like doing too much of that. Okay, how long should one wait for the trade to go in his favor? For example, if it's going sideways, let's say, because then I see the odds are 50-50. Okay, here goes one that actually nerve. Herv nailed this, right? And it was actually setting up some really long flags. These are to me are hard to engage because you got all this sideways action, or it is pulling back, and it's on lighter volume, but like it was breaking out, busting out with volume. Okay, that kind of like really doesn't answer the question, but cool. How long should one wait for the trade to go in his favor? All right, when I'm playing these 5 minute flags, I want them to go. It is a bail or break mentality type of trading for me. I don't wait, too long when I'm playing these because, where they're setting up, we're trading the momentum. So when you're trading momentum, you're exposing yourself to a lot of risk. So that's why I try to look for these setups where entering them, it doesn't have a lot of risk. It makes sense. If it fails, it fails. If it pulls back, and stops looking like a 5-minute flag, I cut it and just exit the trade. Let me see, PTBT, this thing ended up just, wow, making some moves after hours. Didn't even know that. That's tight. Look at these flags though right here. Look at this nice flag. Same thing. You know what's kind of crazy is when you see stuff like this, guys, like the nature of how it's trading, how it's forming. If you see this right here and this right here, two successful longer 5-minute flags, you know, when these set up right here, you got to be looking for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, in my opinion. If you're looking for a price target or an entry, you know, you can get chopped up on the way down. Like, okay, it might be this one, it might be this one, which is okay because this is a stock trading in the pennies where it was like if it didn't work, you cut it for a couple cents or and so on. But if you look after hours right here, it kind of does the same thing. It pops up, lower volume consolidation. It takes a little bit on the 5, but eventually it goes and you got this increasing volume break. Sweet, Santa. Cool. It makes sense. You guys have any other questions that you guys want to go over? Hopefully this was helpful. Again, I'm just trying to go over, like, I'm trying to show you guys, if you guys watched my first stream, I went into a lot of details. You know, this is my second stream. I want to do recaps every week on what goes on and show you guys that if you guys are disciplined, if you're waiting for these setups to happen, and if you learn how to get in them and have tight risk management, that you can be very profitable and successful throughout the whole week. You know, we nailed 9 out of the 11. Now, next week's going to be a new week. We're going to do the same thing, or I'm going to do the same thing. And, you know, if you guys are kind of gearing into this type of strategy, just try it. You know, you guys are going to see these things. They work. And, you know, it's just catching it. And, you know, it's just the best thing. Thank you. Appreciate it. You know, I hope this did help, guys. Buffo, is anybody else? Any other questions? Deb, you guys see any other questions or anything that I can go over or recover for anybody? Cool, man. You know, I hope this helps. And you know, the main reason why I want to keep doing this is because I want to show you the consistency, right? Because if you start to get more confident in your consistency or where it works, it's going to be great. You know, I talked about backtesting with Penny the other day, and it's like, okay, yes, mouse hotkeys. Thanks. I actually have this up already, real quick, and then I'll talk about the other stuff. Where is it? Okay, guys. So this is the mouse that I use, right? It's called. Let me grab it real quick. I have the box too for you guys. You guys can kind of see it. This is what it is, right? It is the SteelSeries Rival 600. And what you want to do is kind of what Santa posted in chat. You want to go up here first, right? Go to application settings and go to your hotkeys. And all I do is I have my F1 for buy the ask and F2 for sell the bid. Now in market hours now, this is my pre-market setting. During market hours now, because I'm noticing that when I'm taking certain size, it skips me. So what I'll do is during market hours, I'll change this to buy the market, because if I like this setup, I'm just gonna buy it right there. There's no reason why to not nail these plays during the market hours, because if that's the setup and you see the outcome where you're expecting it to actually fill the whole flag breakout, I've been buying the market now because I'm taking more size and I don't want to just get filled on this. I want the full thing, right? I'll change my F1 to buy the market during market hours. I still have sell the bid because I love to scale into the bids just in case it starts to get stuffed and I want to bail and get the next best available price. So from there, you're going to go to the hotkeys, and all you guys do is you click them. If you hover over it like this, and you see this right here, you just go to custom, and you can just, you know, put F10, and now F10 is, and you can unclick all these, so it's just F10. All this is doing right here is saying, hey, you need to click, you know, CTRL and then hit F10, you know. So I unclick all these, and now F10 is going to be my hotkey for that, right? So that's all I use. Buy the ask, sell the bid. During market hours, I switch F1 and I put it to market, right? And now here goes that mouse I have. It's great because it kind of gives you this, you know, you have this whole layout right here. You can change it. There's color to it. You can do all that kind of cool stuff. But here's the settings for this, right? If you see the mouse, it's going to break it down for you. So I have it bind with my Thinkorswim. So I have F1 for my button 3 right here. You know, so I can scroll, do whatever the case is, and all I'm doing is slapping that to enter the trade. And then I have my F2 right here for B4. So this is nice, you know. It's very simple, it's easy, you know, it works great. And the reason why I actually picked these buttons for this, because this is your clicking one. You know, you're going to click on stuff throughout the day. Right click is going to be, you know, auto zoom, you know, and then the top left one, which was this one right here, this B6 one. And I found all this through, you know, trial and error. Like, I want to make sure I'm not, you know, messing my stuff up for tools and stuff. The top one's going to be like your, is going to be like, you know, this little tool button right here. Like that, the tool button that is right here. It's the same thing, but on the mouse now I can just click it anywhere and change my lines or levels or, you know, stuff like that. So that's the hotkeys. Very simple again. Go to Setup, Application, go to Hotkeys, and all you got to do is go down here to Active Trader Ladder, which is, this is the Active Trader Ladder right here. Click it and click Customize and set it up to however you want it. You know, it can be a letter, F1, F2. And once you're done doing that, you're going to go back to your actual, you're going to download this, right? Once you get it, you just sign in, make a name, and then you're going to do the configuration right here. Okay, again guys, for my stops, I know one more question. Someone asked, where am I placing my stops? Here goes, you know, here, let's look up the one I failed, because here goes one that I failed, right? As soon as I entered this, this was pulling back, it was lighter volume. This is where I'm stopping out right here. I wish I would have got up before, but I got bottom ticked because it flushed on me. It is what it is, right? And these type of names, you have to understand that the risk is going to happen. Once these stocks are like over 20 bucks, you know, they're 30, 40, 50, $100, and they're a little bit, you know, whippy, you know, you can lose 20, 30, 40, 50 cents instantly, $1 instantly. So, you know, that's the risk you take. But my stop on this one with this pattern right here breaking down, you know, when I buy the 8, you know, say KPLT again, right? KPLT, right? We bought this flag. If we're entering, right, on the 8, or, you know, 50, 60, 70% of this pullback, because sometimes the 8's not always going to be right there, but this is the pattern that's like embedded in my brain. This pulls up, it pulls back. It kind of gives us what, almost 50% pullback, you know, from when the volume started to increase. Very important, not just the choppiness. I want to see momentum volume. But so if I bought this right here and this started to break down more, I'm stopping out, you know, because this is not looking like a flag anymore, you know. That's when I stop out. As soon as my flags no longer look like flags, I'm stopping out, you know. As soon as I don't see buyers stepping up and, you know, compare it to the 1 minute, you know, here's just KPLT, just one that I can remember that happened. You know, in this area, you have your flag right here, right? This pulls back, taps the 8. As soon as I enter this, you know, if I would have entered this right here and this would have just started to die, I would have again stopped out. It's not this flag anymore that looks like on the 5. If you look at the 1, guys, this to me it looks crazy. Like I don't see a pattern that I would take right here. Yes, it is a flag. You know, maybe other traders are seeing that and they're still, you know, slapping it. But to me, this makes more sense to enter it than all this choppiness, right? Because if you look at this, this might look like a kill candle to somebody, and then you got a bear flag, it breaks down, which it all is. Makes a perfect sense, right? But on a larger time frame, it's setting up a bigger pattern. Um, but yeah, that's when I would stop out, you know, and then I'm staying in these trades when I see this happen. You know, buyers are stepping up, we're getting good volume. You know, any type of pullback is fine. If it does start to flush, I want to see buyers step up again. You know, you got a tweezer bottom right here, which is a good signal. Trying to see anything else, guys. Okay, yeah. So Ash, Ketchum. When I don't see those flags that have 2 bodies in it, I'm gonna be constantly looking if the flag is still setting up and there's, you know, names on it, it has a catalyst or whatever the case may be. BTBT, I don't know if I had news that day, but we're looking for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high and then increasing volume on the 1. Do I use level 2? So yeah, yeah. So I use this as level 2. I do have my level 2 right here, and yes, I do use it still because sometimes, I mean, if you look at this, right, you know, you got 514 by 20. You got the ask 514 by 20. You know, you got a bidder right here, 511 by 4. It's 511 by 4. So I use this, but sometimes this will disappear. And then I have my level 2 right there to look, and then I'll just look at level 2 from there. So active trader ladder is my level 2. Yeah, BTBT was a 52 week high breakout, so that made sense playing it. You know, that was a great trade for her. If I did slap it, I was scalping it, you know. I'm just going over the questions real quick. How much weight do you put on the chart? Then level 2 in the tape. What do you mean? So guys, in these patterns, I'm looking for the VPA to match, for it to have a catalyst, for it to set up at a certain area that makes sense where it's potential high day breakout, you know, a daily level breakout, day 2 continuation to make new highs. You know, I focus on these patterns, and I do emphasize level 2 in the tape. When I'm in there, I want to see the tape speed up. If there are big walls, say on KPLT, say there was big asks, right here, you know, just in general, if this was the price, if this was a big wall, when I'm in the trade, I want to see buyers smashing it. I want to see them get destroyed, and then I want to see the flag to break out. Yeah, I think so. The midweek, yeah, that was okay. So you're talking about wish, wish I did. You know, let me see. The flag for wish was on the 11th, and I did. I bought this one, you know, market hours, and then I have a picture too of it. I sent it to Thiz, or even Bofo too. I did market buy that one, you know, because I was a little late to it, and again, I've been having troubles with not getting my whole size filled because I'm playing with more size. So I didn't want to miss that move. So as long as it's not super whippy, you can slap the market. You know, if the name is really whippy, and you're looking for that entry, you want to slap the ask because you don't want it to get skipped on you. You know, if it skips, you know, you don't want to get like, you know, market topped or something. You're buying now at a larger price and you want your entry down there. But yeah, this was wish. So I'm gonna start saving my entries and keeping them with my pictures and stuff like that. But this was wish. I just market bought it at a 555 average. You know, I just slapped 15, 15, 15, 15, and I let that one play out. That was a nice. Oh, do I scale in or take a single entry? I'll scale into it and then I'll add on for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high when it starts to decrease. But if there's strong momentum on the chart, when so RNXT, I did not scale into that one. I put 3,000 shares on the bid and I got filled and I just stuck with that. I didn't want to ruin my average. The name was Whippy, so it just depends, you know, on larger time or on flags that are kind of like not as whippy. I'll take a starter, and then you'll hear me on voice, guys, because I'll be in voice in the real ones that I'm averaging up. And if I average up, it's usually for a half whole dollar break. And if that half or whole dollar break is gearing up for something that's breaking for high of day, then I'll average up. But most of the time, you know, usually I'm taking starters now at 2,500, but now I'm taking, you know, or I'll slap 15, 15, 15. I'll take 2,500. You know, I'll start to scale increments of 500, or I'll do half. Just depends what I'm doing with that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Santa, that when do I average up? I average up only when I see strength and there's more room. Like so, wish I just slapped the heck out of it, you know, and kind of just waited. But you know, in this situation, if you guys see these and there's strength behind it, you know, you could take a 8 EMA dip and then average up into the first 5-minute candle, making a new high. But just be mindful, because if it starts to get stuffed, you don't want to ruin your average. So in the beginning, I would backtest this, right? I'm really big on backtesting. Backtest this, guys. See the strength that these flags are producing, and then look to average up, because you might get a breakout candle and then a 1-minute flag forming. That's a great time to average up, is when you have already got a great entry, and now after this you get this exploding volume behind it. You know, you might want to average up in the first 1-minute pullback, you know, or now you have a 1-minute flag setting up. Average up to it, because if now, and especially if it's not gearing up to high day break or, you know, daily level breaks, you know, it's definitely worth taking a stab at. But backtest it, you know, do it small size, do 100 shares, and then average up with another 100. That way you're not exposing yourself or, you know, getting afraid to play that type of style, because you're taking too much size and then you're just getting crushed, you know. But yeah, guys, okay, Max, yeah, Max again. When I put limit orders, so that's basically, you know, hey, I want to buy this right here. If I do that on a particular flag setup where I know the stock is whippy again, I will put orders on the bid, and I'll look at the 8 and say the 8 right here was 550. But again, live time, real time, it's kind of extended. So if it's at 550, I'm going to place my orders. Say this is 550 because it won't match, but if it's 540, right? This is pulling back to 540. I'll put orders like this, like this, like this, and like this, depending on the size that I want to take and how much room is compared to the 8. That's when I start to put orders on the bid, because the only reason why I do that is because I see this all the time. Fresh momentum, it pulls back, respects the 8, and it's the first proper pullback that it gives in most situations. Yeah, a lot of this stuff, guys, though, it's situational. That's why, you know, if you guys are not in voice, I recommend hopping in voice with us, because every setup's going to be different, but we still have the same criterias, right? Low VPA pullbacks, where they're setting up, why they're setting up. You know, am I going to average into this flag, or am I just going to take one position and let it run its course. Okay, backtesting. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so guys, next stream, I don't want to have like, and it's already an hour and a half. I can probably go for like another hour, hour and a half. It's 1:30 in the morning here. I'll do a stream on backtesting and I'll show you what I mean. And this is just a quick example, right? If you guys, this is backtesting to me, right? Is when you have folders like this, right? And you save them and you're taking pictures, right, of all your setups. And then you're going back and you're looking at the patterns that it forms, right? I have a lot of pictures, guys. Like, this is backtesting to me. You don't want to backtest, you want to get good at something. Take a picture of the pattern, see why it happened, where it happened, and I only capture like what happens like for this week, right? Let's look at this week. This is this week's setups and flags. I capture in the moment flag or whatever setup I was taking, and I save it. And then I go back and then I study it. Like, where could I have traded this better? Can I average up into this? Or like, was the stop great and stuff like that. So this is what I mean by back testing, right? See some type of strategy that you want, play that strategy, and then start saving. Make a folder. I got 5-minute bounce plays, flag breakouts. I think I even have fails too. Um, yeah, I got bounces, failed breakouts, all these type of things. This is backtesting to me. I'm finding a pattern, I'm seeing how it works, why it works, and then how can I get better at trading it. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this. Have a great rest of the day or weekend, and I will see you guys Monday morning, fresh, ready to go. Right? Let's nail these plays. So everyone, have a great day.